Welcome back, everybody. This is Season 2, Episode 6 of the Blooper Reel Podcast. And my guest today, get ready for this. This is the longest resume that I have for any guest so far. So, she's a huge part of the Savannah creative scene. She was a Jill of all trades. I'm telling you, this girl does everything, okay? She is a SCAD alumni, has a master's in sound design. She's nominated for a student Emmy. She's an improv, how did you say it? Improviser. Been doing it for 5 years now. Let's see, I have all these. She's produced shows like The Big Mashup, Aloud, POC Jam, Queer Prov Jam, and I'm sure there's more. She has a passion for philanthropy, and it really shows in like all of the tremendous charity work she's done with all these shows she's produced. She's dating M. Joy. I've mentioned that before. Please give a very warm welcome to Liz Moore.
Hi.
What's up, dude?
What's up?
Thank you for coming out here.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be the first not stand-up comedian.
Yeah, this is the first not stand-up comedian, but you, I feel like, still have such an influence on like comedy, and because you're still a big part of the Savannah comedy scene.
Yeah.
I have so many questions for you. Your resume is insane, by the way. You've done so much, and you still are like constantly adding more stuff onto your plate.
Yeah, I don't know how to not. That's it.
And do you think it's like, do you just have trouble like sitting still, or do you just think you have like a passion for all these things and you just want to get as much of it as you can?
I definitely have a passion for all of it. It's also not being able to sit still, but it's like, if I'm not doing something, I just kind of lay there. And it's like, well, what's the point? When I could be doing something else, or like hanging out with a friend, or photography, or whatever. So I just rather fill my life with people and things.
That's a really good, I mean, that's what I do. But I think sometimes I overdo it, and I was like, okay, I have too many things now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to get into like, I have so many questions written down for you. So, you are not originally from Savannah, like most people who live in Savannah.
Correct.
Where do you claim as like home?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. What part of Jersey?
New Jersey. Freehold, New Jersey. Monmouth County, Bruce Springsteen, New Jersey.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And so part of your backstory is that you're actually adopted.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So I was born somewhere in China.
You don't know exactly where?
No.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where. I don't know my exact birth date. The birth date that my orphanage gave me was September 18th, 1999, which I know it can't be after that because I was probably there by the time that they gave me a birth date.
Yeah.
I was born during the one-child policy. Okay. So, like, that stretch of time where they were like, girl, get rid of it.
That's so crazy.
And I was a girl.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the exact reason. Most people's like little documents are like abandoned baby left on the side of the road.
It just says that and just like abandoned baby.
Yeah, mine says left at orphanage steps. So that's just such like the generic wording, and I don't know. And you're
like as a baby, not like you just baby.
No, it was typically like within a week of being born.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't know where they're from because it was punishable by death to abandon a baby. So
that's very contradictory to
Yeah. So what a lot of people would do is they would abandon the baby at night, and then it was called human trafficking. It's not the same like negative one in America, but people would go and find all these babies and then drive them across like state lines, like county lines, and drop them off at orphanages away from where they found them. And just hoping to get babies not left on the sides of the road dying, because orphanage started giving like incentives. Like if you bring us a baby, we'll give you $100.
Well, it's good that like the orphanages. I'm sure they had to like change their entire format of like how they're running things. Like, hey, this is a problem now. We're just getting these babies in.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got adopted?
I was 1.
1?
Yeah, it was a week before my first birthday.
Birthday.
Do
you still get? What is your birthday now? Like, what do you like? Would you?
September 18th.
September 18th.
Yeah. And if you know me at all, I am very much a Virgo.
Yeah.
I fulfill that demographic 100%. So that part is right.
I don't know anything about a Virgo. I think I'm a Sagittarius. Is that right?
I don't know. When's your birthday?
December 3rd.
Oh, maybe.
What are the traits of a Virgo?
Oh, extremely organized.
Okay.
Kind of hyper fixated, a lot of mom friends. And that's basically like my personality resume right there.
I'm not like a big like horoscope guy or anything like that, but like I've read mine and I'm like, this is pretty accurate. It's eerily accurate when you read them, you know?
Yeah.
So you get adopted. You're in New Jersey. How much time did you spend in New Jersey? And like, this is gonna be such a stupid question, but like, was there a certain age that your parents sat you down and were like, "Hey,
yeah, no, for sure.
you're adopted."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my parents told me I was adopted from the day they got me.
Okay.
It was never a like you're anything other than adopted. It wasn't until I was maybe like 3 or 4 where I consciously understood what it meant.
Because at one, you don't really like. No, you don't know.
No,
like,
not at all. My first memories are from my 3rd birthday party.
Okay.
Like the first thing that I consciously remember as a human being is in my front yard, and it was like a little petting zoo for my birthday. Like that is my first.
That's when you came online.
Exactly.
Like,
that's when everything was like connection.
Yeah.
But no, my parents were always like, you didn't come from like mommy's belly, but we love you and like you're our baby. So it was never a question.
Yeah. It was like an elephant in the room of like something that like it was just like, hey, this is like they were very upfront with it.
Yeah.
What did like when they told you or when you were able to like understand and like comprehend what they were saying, like did you have a bunch of questions? Did you like
No, I don't think so. My mom said that one day when it clicked was when she told me, like, you're not, like, you didn't come from my belly. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Because I guess maybe we were learning, like, maybe a friend's mom was pregnant, and I was like, she has a baby in her belly. And I was like, what was it like when I was in your belly? And she's like, oh, well, you didn't come from my belly. And that broke my little tiny baby heart. Not that I was adopted, but it's like, what do you mean? I thought I grew there.
Yeah.
And I didn't grow there. And then I guess it was like a 5-minute
just to like process.
What do you mean? But besides that, it's never been like a thing for me. It's more like I have my biological family who gave me my DNA, who gave me my hair color and my physical appearance, and then I have my parents and my family. And like they're everything else that made me who I am.
Have you ever had like a want or a need to like try to find your biological family or anything like that?
I've been curious. So I did the like 23andMe things, Ancestry, to try to find that. And then there's these other programs where you can put that DNA where it's looking specifically for biological families in China where they might submit DNA to see if you compare them. I never had a match through there, which makes me think I'm probably from an area that was more like impoverished and they don't have access to that. I am not someone who was really ever like troubled by it, fortunately. There's some people who really struggle with it, which I mean, valid. It's like a crazy way to start life. I'd love to know if I have siblings, which I assume I probably do.
That was the thing. I was like, like, what if you have a sibling? And so like,
I think I'm probably the oldest girl. I probably have a younger sibling somewhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I can't guarantee it.
Maybe down the line, like, what if one of them, like a younger generation, like one of your siblings or something, or like one of their kids, like does the testing, and like, who knows? Like maybe
it
down
could
the road.
happen like in like 20, 30 years. I don't know.
That would be such a wild, like, you just get a Facebook message like, hey, we're related.
You're my aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be wild.
That would be so
crazy.
But
I do think that I probably have siblings just based on how the one-child policy worked. Which there's an amazing documentary. It's called One Child Nation. If you have time,
I've heard about it, but I need to watch it.
It is so good.
What's it on?
I don't know. You'll have to Google it.
Yeah, I'll Google it.
I saw it when it came to the Savannah Film Festival. I met the director and saw it there. But usually if you had a baby boy already, there were forced unconsensual sterilizations. Wow. So if I had an older brother, it's likely I never would have come down the line.
Right.
So that's why I think I was probably the oldest or like the first of something.
Nice.
So
I think it was like a cooking show or something I was watching, I think, and it was like the chef was talking about like what food means to him, and it's like food when you eat with people that you love, like you create like this family bond, and like and he's like the people like your family that you're born with, that's like your practice family, like a long life, and through like your own struggles and your own experiences, you make your own family.
Yeah.
You know, like your family is that you're born with is just like they teach you like what they're doing and hopefully give you good morals and like
Yeah.
values, and then you like go do your own family thing. So how long did you spend in New Jersey?
From age 1 all the way until 17 when I went to college. So my entire life.
No way. So your entire like
I am
kid
New
life.
Jerseyan.
Yeah.
I am Italian in
That's-
my core. It's funny. MJ and I always joke that I'm Italian and I'm Jewish. Because
Yeah.
that's the main demographic of the people I grew
Yeah.
up around. And it's like, that's my food preferences. When I'm sad, give me spaghetti.
That's so
Give me
funny.
spaghetti and meatballs. Go find like the cheap Italian restaurant that's just so good. And it just like touches your soul.
Do you have a favorite Italian restaurant in Savannah?
Not really.
No.
None of them.
Have you been to Corleone's?
I have.
I did not like it.
I think Corleone's is like a tourist Italian restaurant.
Yeah. So Corleone's is a place. I don't want to like talk shit about this restaurant, but you look at it and it's like this like brick and mortar like old.
They have
school,
the
like-
checkered tablecloth.
Yeah, the
and
checkered table.
everything.
It's called Corleone's, the family from The Godfather, and I was
Yeah.
like, this place is gonna be amazing. And I went in there. I was like, it's not that great.
Yeah. Villa Napoli is pretty good.
I've heard about
the
that
little one like behind where El Rocco used to be, that like back street. It's just all the Italian food here is like there's not that many, so it's all like luxury, like expensive, pay
Yeah.
a lot of money for it. And it's like I grew up with a place called Dusal's, and it's like everything came in like a metal tin thing with like paper cardboard. You walk in the front door and the front is just like those old tables and booths that are screwed into the ground and
Yeah.
you can't take them out. And there's like pizzas on the aisles, and you can call and get your food in like 20 minutes. And
And
for
some
like,
of the best Italian food you've
it's
ever
so
had.
good. Yeah, I found a place similar to it when Em and I just went to Pittsburgh for a wedding. Or
Right.
not Pittsburgh, we went to like around Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
And it tasted exactly like it, and she was like, "Oh."
And that was like her first time experiencing like legit
She's like, "This
Italian.
is
Yeah.
this is what you're talking about." Exactly.
Oh,
It's like it looks cheap, it doesn't look good, it's not very expensive, but you eat it and you feel it.
Yeah, you feel good, like
Yeah.
comfort.
The
Italian.
ancestors is coming out of me.
So 17, like,
Yeah.
when do you think? So like, let's see, how do I want to word this? Like, when do you think? Because you have been on stage so much now in these 5 years,
Yeah.
right? Before you came to Savannah, did you have like a passion for it, or like when did you start noticing like, hey, I like being on stage, I like making people laugh, and I like entertaining people? When do you think you
Yeah.
found that?
That's a great question. Well, I grew up doing competitive gymnastics. So I did that for 13 to 15-ish
Oh, shit,
years.
yeah.
So that was like my entire upbringing, my entire life. And I was always kind of like one of the class clown friends in that like area of my life. So like I guess that's a area where I learned that like being a little funny and a little silly can like build connections with people. But I never performed on stage until I started performing at the theater at Front Porch.
Really?
Yeah.
You never even try never like a school production, like in high school or anything?
When I was forced to be in choir or forced to like be in orchestra or band or something, and they were like, everybody do it for the year, and then they put you in the recital. But
Holy
besides
shit.
that, no. I grew up with a love of it. My family isn't like vacationers, we're like experiencers, so which I guess are the same thing. But growing up where I grew up, it was an hour and a half drive into New York City.
Okay.
So we would go see shows on Broadway as like our big yearly family thing. So like I've seen so many things. I love it.
I've only been to Broadway once, and like I've never seen like big theater productions or something like that, like just like very small stuff. And I went to Broadway for the first time, and in my head I was like, I mean, like how like everyone talks about how good could it really be? And I went and saw Lion King at Broadway. It's
Lion
amazing.
King is
It is
unbelievable.
amazing
Yeah.
what they do on just one stage with props and everything. And I was like, this
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
Yeah. It's not on anymore, but my favorite was Come From Away.
I don't think I've seen. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Absolutely. So it is about 9/11, and it's
wow.
about this town in Newfoundland. It's called Gander in like Newfoundland, Canada, and they took the most rerouted passengers that were in the air during 9/11.
Yeah.
And it's just like the story of the week of them there with it, and how this like small town of like 9,000 people grew to like 20,000 people overnight, and like
Yeah.
all of that community. And the music is like, sorry, I nerd out about this.
No,
But
this is interesting.
the music is like native to that area. So it's not like typical guitar and drums. It's like a sheepskin drum and like all of these instruments that are from those people.
That's so cool.
It is so beautiful. I sobbed watching it. I know all the words. It is so good.
It's gonna sound really stupid, but like since I started doing stand-up, because I consider it like a form of art. You're up there entertaining and stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Me and Kenny talked about it's like if jazz was talking, because it's different every time. Like you just kind of like, you know, you have like a bass set, but then sometimes you go up there and just bullshit, right? I think just that it gives me more of an appreciation for like other forms of performance.
Yeah.
Like improv and stuff like that. Like the show that you just did aloud, it was this past Saturday, right? And actually talk about that a little bit, because I've never heard of a show like this before. Who's the person that was like co-producing it with you? Yumi?
Yeah. Y-U-M-I.
Y-U-M-I. Shout out to Yumi from Front Porch. But yeah, I've never heard of a show like that before. But it's before stand-up, I would have never gone to a show like that. But like again, since like being on stage and like being around other people who do so much entertaining and all like different levels of creativity, you can appreciate it more because you know what goes into it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, talk about that show aloud because it's such a cool concept.
Yeah, so Yumi was like the driving force of it. She ended up actually doing that for one of her class projects at SCAD and then brought it to me and was like, do you think we could make this thing real? But we had 25 people anonymously submit journal entries, old diary entries, text messages they never said, like just things that they wrote down and never published, maybe because they were worried about what people would say in their life, or it's like a little too deep and they're like, this is just gonna make people think I'm like not okay. And then we broke that down to 15 that we were gonna read on stage, and then they got paired with performers who read them out loud. And it was the first time a lot of people were able to hear this piece that they wrote read out loud or by anybody other than like within their own self. So
because I imagine probably all 15 of those people were like, did you notify the people that got picked like, hey, yours got picked? Or
no, we did ask them to put a title with it. So then when we were posting about which ones were being read, they saw the titles, so they probably knew. So
the chances of all 15 people being in that audience probably pretty high. Like,
well, we had a couple submissions from out of the country. We had a lot of submissions from out of the state because you don't need to be there because it's anonymous. I do think that everybody who submitted has seen their pieces be read.
What a cathartic experience that must be.
We've been getting responses from the authors like this healed something in me. My one friend, they submitted the Lightning and the Sea piece.
That was a really good one.
And it was read by Rich, who's an amazing performer. And Rich was like, that is something that I feel like I've experienced but never really spoke about. So hearing that somebody else went through that and then being able to share it was such a special experience. And then the author was like, that was like one of the greatest gifts I could have had. So it's really touching a lot of people.
That's so
in
cool.
like a crazy new way that we knew it had the capability of doing it, but we didn't know it was going to be that successful. So we're very happy with it.
How weird of like a broad spectrum just being on that small stage is. You can go from like, you know, being at a McDonough's mic and just talking about like dick jokes, and then like to this. It's just and then everything in between of it. Like, so cool. I think my favorite one, I don't remember the name of it, but it was the one that Vikram did.
The Infinity in Between.
And I was like, okay, I feel personally attacked here with it. But it was really good, and I was like, it like bits and pieces of everybody's. If you didn't resonate with one specifically, you definitely resonated with like pieces of every other one. So it not only like helped out the authors, but I feel like it helped out a lot of.
And that was, I think that was a big part of it, is so many people go through so many things, and a lot of time people are like, well, don't tell anybody. Like, nobody wants to know the hard things you're going through. It's like, if you're doing that, then you're failing, so there's like a lot of shame with it. And it's like, actually, basically everybody's probably gone through a heartbreak. There's a lot of people who feel disconnected from their parents. There's a lot of people who have had friend falling outs. There's people who feel like they keep striving and they're not getting there. And it's okay to feel that. And knowing that other people feel it, I think makes it feel like less of a weight on you.
Yeah,
Like,
because you don't feel like you're the only one that's just like straight. If you've like put it all on yourself, like I'm the only one going through this, you're like, and I think a lot of times, I don't know what that is, but sorry, that's my dog barking because the mailman's here.
mail.
But I think sometimes you don't really know you're going through something that's difficult. Like you know something's off with you, but then if you hear it out loud, all right, or like maybe you have the feelings but you don't have the words to like say it.
Yeah.
But then you hear that and you're like, oh, that's what I'm going through right now. And then and it becomes like a physical thing. You're like, okay, I think I can solve this now.
Yeah.
Like a jumping off point.
Yeah.
Sorry, we went on a huge tangent.
No,
but
you're good.
It's such a cool show and such a cool idea.
No, we love doing it. It's definitely an experimental one. You know, it's not typically what the theater does, and they were very gracious to like let us have that slot and like let us try something.
I really hope you guys do it again. It was so cool.
We hope to do it again for sure. Yeah.
So you're in Savannah now. What brought you to Savannah? Is it SCAD or it's SCAD? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Are your
SCAD.
parents still in Jersey?
No, they moved here.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice. How do they like it?
They love it. My parents live out on Skidaway Island.
Okay.
And they live in this like community that has all this golfing available. My dad retired when he was 75. He's now 78.
Okay.
And he spends every day of his life golfing, either on the golf course or at the driving range or doing something.
Do you golf?
I golf on his birthday and Father's Day.
Do you enjoy it?
On his birthday and Father's Day, yeah. It's not bad. It's like, I'll go twice a year, which his birthday and Father's Day are always a week within each other.
Okay.
So I'll go like 2 times in this 1 week. I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. And then I go another time, like, I hate this.
Yeah.
Like, this is not going as well as it was last week. And
I'm
then
not
I just give up.
I'm not a huge golfer. Like, all my friends golf. I think Savannah's like a big golf like thing. And all my friends golf, and like, I went out, I just drove the golf cart. Like, I understand the appeal. Like, you're outside, like, you're doing this thing. But I have no interest in it.
I can definitely hold my own when I'm
really?
golfing, yeah.
You
like,
only do it 2 times a year? It's impressive.
Yeah, well, my dad put me in golf camp growing up.
I knew that was
I
going
had
to be...
quite the upbringing. I was in golf camp. I went to horseback riding camp. I went to gymnastics camp. I did, like, I think going back to the never stopping, I think that started with my mom because I do have high dopamine.
Yeah.
Which is something that not a lot of people know about. But I was told by a doctor that I have high dopamine levels when I was like 6. And a bunch of people were like, you need to get her on Adderall. She is crazy. And this one holistic doctor that my mom brought me to was like, no, her dopamine levels are just very high. So it's like, ever since I was little, I would go from school to soccer, from soccer to dance, from dance to gymnastics, and then from gymnastics to swimming. And then when I was like 8, my mom was like, you have to pick one. We're going to die.
Yeah. You're just going to burn yourself out.
Yeah. So I just stuck with gymnastics and did that all the way through.
Do you think like that upbringing is part of like why you're so like go now?
Definitely, yeah. No.
But you enjoy like because of your high dopamine levels, like I need to go. You're like a shark. Like if you stop moving, you'll die.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not that exactly.
I will die.
I will die. Yeah.
No, and I think it's not so much doing the things, but it's being with people. I am a huge people person. I'm a huge community person, and I don't do a lot of like social media. I don't do a lot of pop culture. I don't know what's going on with Kim Kardashian or who the next big celebrity is. Like people, I didn't know that the Met Gala happened until afterwards, and people post about the Met Gala. But it's like if you ask me what's going on in this friend's life or this friend's life, I could tell you.
Yeah.
And like I love being able to do these things because then I get to connect with my friends and like know what's going on in their lives, and that is like the biggest thing. These are all opportunities to get to be with my people.
I mean, it's community, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just maybe that like brings you at peace. And I love like hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. But then there's some times where like it's just me, my dog Huck, and like one day I had just been going for like weeks, and I finally had this day and I had nothing planned. I just laid on my couch with my dog and I watched like 3 seasons of The Sopranos. And I was like, this is the best day ever.
Yeah. I mean, Em and I, when there's not a comedy or if like one of us is not feeling well or something, we just sit in bed and we watch whatever trashy television thing. Oh man, so we're really big into Survivor.
I love Survivor.
Yeah, I applied to be on Survivor.
Did you hear it like recently?
I applied during this season because I loved it so much.
What?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't been told you're not moving forward. I also haven't been told you are. But I was like, why not? Add another thing that I've done in my life.
That would be so cool.
But we love Survivor, and we just absolutely blew through Suddenly Amish. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. They take 6 just English people, which is what the Amish call anyone who's not Amish. They took 6 English people who wanted to have like a change of their life, maybe, and then they bring them to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and they have them join an Amish community for a month to see if maybe they can like become part of the community and like be accepted by the community.
Yeah.
And it is just like an 8-episode series about this, and we were hooked. Like immediately, we're like, next one.
Are there like multiple seasons, or are they?
So far, there's one, but they have been confirmed for a second one.
Oh, I'm watching this show.
It's on, I think, TLC, HBO Max.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely watching
YouTube TV, so we watched it on there.
Nice.
Heated Rivalry was hot for a good while.
Heated Rivalry? Mm-hmm. What was that about?
Gay hockey. Gay hockey. It is so good.
Really?
Yes, it's so good.
What a niche, like.
Well, it was a television adaptation off of a book.
Okay.
So I watched the entire season, read all of the books in 1 month. Yeah. Absolutely obsessed with it. But from like a film and a sound aspect, the cinematography, the shots, the spacing, the angles, unbelievably. Yeah. Like so brilliantly done. It is more than just like the gay hockey hot boys sex stuff, because that part's great too. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But like the dynamics and the way they style the shots and everything for the emotional things that are happening, so good. And the sound, the music.
When you talk about it, like this is a really good jumping off point into like talking about why SCAD, why you picked the major you did, because it's just like, just when you talk about it, you can tell how much you love this thing.
Yes.
You know? So when you like were graduating high school, like your senior year, junior year, like in your mind already, you're like, I want to go to SCAD.
Yeah.
Or were there other you were like, I'm going to SCAD.
So I went to a performing arts high school. Mm-hmm. I did this in high school.
Okay.
I went to, it's called FPAC, Freehold Performing Arts Center, and I did the film and television route. And when I was in that program, I did all of the sound for all of the projects. And I didn't know sound design was its own thing until I went to SCAD.
Why did you do it? Like, did you just get like lumped with that role and you fell in love with it, or is that something you pursued in high school too?
It's something I pursued in high school. So in high school, you have like electives, like home ec and things like that. Instead of that, we would go to our film class. So like my entire 4 years was learning how to make films and like learning how to make the sound better, shots, angles, spotting log sheets, everything. So that was my entire high school. Mm-hmm. And then we needed someone to make the sound better. And I was like, well, I'll fiddle with that. I'll see what happens and I'll play with that. And I did. And then that's how I got into that. But when I came to SCAD, I came as a film major and a sound minor. And then I took my first sound class with Robert Miller, who is still there today, and all of the sound faculty are great, but Rob Miller is like someone that like has a special place in my heart. That was
like your mentor. Like.
Yeah, and I took my first class with him, and I immediately switched it to a sound major and a film minor.
So like, but what about the sound engineering part like interested you?
I think that it is. I love how it's something that people don't know unless it's bad. You know, it's like you only notice it when you're like at home watching a movie and like you can't hear anybody talking, and then suddenly the music is so loud and you woke up from your sleep and you're having a heart attack and you peed yourself just a little bit. Yeah. It's like and it's like that's not good sound, but there are people who can do it. I most specifically did sound for animation when I was in school, and now like audiobooks and things like that. There's an art and a beauty of being able to create stories with just sound, because for animation's sake, like live action television, you can hear the backgrounds, you can hear the atmosphere, you can hear cars going by, and like you know what's going on. In an animation, you don't. What we get as a sound team is basically just like watching it on mute, and then we add everything, every footstep, every breath.
Do you have a lot of like freedom with it, or like?
It depends on what the director
wants. Or do you like
wants.
send them like, hey, this is the first draft, like what do you think, and then they'll like tweak it and stuff like that?
So typically they'll tell you like style, like do you want something silly and goofy, like when people jump, do you want like a boing sound, or do you want it to sound realistic? And that varies. But it is so fun to make an entire world and something like that is so full and crafted out of nothing. Yeah. So I have like my YouTube page that has like all the things I worked on, and that's how I got the Student Emmy nomination. It was one of those. Awesome. Yeah.
Now, so you've been in Savannah for 5 years?
No, I've been in Savannah since 2017.
2017.
So going on nine years now? Yeah.
But you've only been doing improv for 5 years.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So this is a big part, because Front Porch Improv Theater holds a very special place in my heart. That's where I started my comedy thing.
Yeah.
Shout out John Anton for teaching that class. But so you college for 4 years, and then like you got your master's and stuff like that. When did you finish up? Like you're done with school? Like you're done? Okay.
Yes.
What year was that?
So I finished my undergrad and my master's in 4.5 years.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I again can't stop.
Can't stop. Yeah.
Can't stop.
Yeah.
I finished my undergrad in November of 2020, which, if you don't remember, amazing time to try to get a job in the workforce. Yeah. And another thing that I could definitely see myself doing is teaching one day. So a master's degree in sound is the terminal degree. Right. So in order to teach in university or college, you need the terminal degree. And I'm like, well, it's not like there's really anything else to do right now, so I might as well just get my master's. And then I finished that by November of 2021.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so impressive. I'm sure your parents are super proud.
Yeah.
You said they're on Skidaway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so you're done with school. Was it while you were still at SCAD that you started at Front Porch?
Yes. I took my first class in July of 2021.
Right. So at this point, again, like your background, I don't know if we mentioned on the podcast, we were talking a little bit before, only like real stage time or like in front of an audience was like choir in like high school and stuff like that when you were growing up.
Yeah.
But now you're, full-time student, you're, I'm sure like pretty overwhelming, like at the pace you're going school-wise. So like at what point you're like, or were you like, I think I want to get on stage and do improv? Like where do you remember that moment where you're like, let's try this?
Yeah, I was dating a guy at the time, and he was a part of the theater. And he was like, oh yeah, this place offers drop-ins on Saturday. They're like $5 to $10 if you want to just try it one time. And I'm like, sure, why not? And we go to this drop-in, and my coach was John Brennan.
I don't think does he have curly hair?
His hair is always changing.
Okay.
He is one of the owners.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
It's like blonde, but it was John Brennan, who loved that man to death as well. And after that class, I was like, I love this. Yeah. This was so much fun. Improv has a unique quality to it than any other comedic form because it is all about connecting with people. It fails if you try to do it alone. You have to connect with the audience, you have to connect with your scene partners, and you have to be so vulnerable in a way that you don't even notice. But you're basically putting yourself on stage with absolutely no idea of what's going on. So you're putting yourself up there expecting to fail and trusting that the other people with you will give you something so that you all float.
Will like help you carry it through.
Yeah.
Do you think the vulnerability about it is interesting? Because do you have you seen people go up there like newer like improvisers that go up there and they're like more reserved, or they're trying to like hold back and then they kind of like flounder? Like, no, you gotta like all in. It's not dipping a toe, and it's like you're jumping into the deep end with it.
Yeah, that happens for sure, but that is less of a what's the word, like barrier than people who are trying to be funny. Improv is not about trying to be funny, because if you're trying to make a joke, like you can make the joke that people will like laugh at a little bit. Same way like in stand-up, like you can make a joke, people are gonna laugh, people are gonna relate. But in improv, if you're building something, you're laughing with people. And most of the funniest things happen because there's been some sort of like a mistake. And it's like, now we can all laugh at this together because it's hilarious. Which like reminds me, I know you do the best first set, worst set.
Right.
My worst set was the funniest thing I've ever been a part of.
Really?
And it was because of a really strange accident. I can talk about it now if you want, or we can get to it later.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it later.
Yeah.
There's so much more of your life we got to cover.
Go for it.
So you do this first class at Front Porch.
Mm-hmm.
What year would that have been that you like?
2021.
2021.
Yeah, like
and then,
right when we started reopening the world from COVID. My first like 6-week-long classes, because I offer like courses, everybody was masked for the entire thing. Yeah.
But the Front Porch like became a thing in 2020.
That's when they got a brick and mortar building. Front Porch has been a thing, like the main troupe, like the main group of people have performed in like every bar you can imagine, all these random places, anywhere they could get stage time, they would perform. And then 2020 is when they like rented this building and like, we're going to do it here. And then COVID was like, hold on.
Yeah.
You wait a second. And they survived it. They did shows online. Like they did Zoom shows, basically. You could buy a ticket and watch online. And like that group was already so close-knit that they would just do it together. And it would
Did they have like, I'm assuming they have like a huge following already. And like that's maybe like, or... because it's such a struggle to be like...
I wasn't there for it. This is like all that I've seen and like heard them talk about. But it was enough that people kept supporting them and they were able to like keep it going somehow, and they've survived. And now
it's crazy how, because like you just started and then this huge worldwide pandemic, and they're like, I bet they're all just sitting there like, fuck.
Yeah, they're like, oh, good.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we wanted to happen right now.
Yeah, that's like an emotional roller coaster. Like this on cloud nine, like we got like a place, and then it's just like, nope. People are trapped in their house for fucking however long.
And I mean, now it's a 120-person theater, and like they'll sell out shows every single weekend. Yeah. Like people will show up and not have a ticket, and we have to turn them away. Yeah. It's like, it's so well known. It's so loved by people who go there all the time within the community, or just like people you look up, like what to do on Saturday night in Savannah, and they're like, go to Front Porch Improv. And now they have the Morons tour. They have Ghosted tour. They just opened Nashville for Morons in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Moron tours are going to be popping up all over the place.
The Front Porch is such a fun place. And like it's, again, like being in like the open mic world and stuff like that, which I'm sure originally before they had like a dedicated building to do it, like similar to open mics, like hey, we're going to go to this place and hopefully the audience is down for it.
Yeah.
That's just every open mic. So like, and just performing comedy. I think I've performed comedy there now like 3 times.
You were in one of our big mashups.
Yeah, I was in one of the big mashups. Love that show, by the way. Yeah. So the big mashups was, what was the charity that you were doing that event? I think it was like a
that
feminine
one was
hygiene
Over the Moon's Diaper Bank.
Yes.
Which provides feminine products and diapers to anybody in the Savannah area that needs them. And then the last one was Brightside, Child and Family Advocacy, which is who I did my big one with.
Okay.
That I wrote down. And then the next one, I guess I'll tell you here, and it'll be like an exclusive.
Ooh, yeah. You heard it here first.
Yeah. The next one, we're doing One Love Animal Rescue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just, what do they do? Like, describe that more to me a little bit.
One Love?
Yeah.
So they, like, take in stray animals, they take in rescue animals, and they're just a rescue organization. They help adopt out dogs, cats, animals, spay, neuter clinics, things like that. They just help keep the street with less strays and making sure that, like, animals get homes.
You do so much work with charity, and I didn't know that until I did the big mashup for the first time. Like, what is it? Is just your heart's just full of love, or like what?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a couple things. So my mom worked for the American Cancer Society for a really long time, and growing up, we would do fundraisers and all those things, and then in 2020, we're 26. In 2024, Front Porch did something called Wing-a-thon, where it was like, we were raising money for Front Porch Acts, which is their nonprofit organization, which helps teach children in like areas how to process their emotions with creativity and with performance rather than in like less positive ways of like violence or yelling or fighting or things like that. But we did a wing-a-thon where it was like, hey, will you pledge $1 for every wing I eat? And I ended up raising like close to $4,000 for that one. And then Brightside works with children in the foster care system, and they provide court-appointed advocates for children in the foster care system so that the children have an advocate. Because a lot of the time, the parents, it's like a he said, she said, and you forget about the needs of the child. And these advocates are the ones who like go to the doctor's appointments and know what's going on in their life. And that's like their entire mission.
Because I'm sure, like, again, we talked about this earlier, right? Like, as a kid, you don't always have the words. As an adult, too, you don't always have the words. But like a kid, especially, like, hey, this is a complicated situation.
Yeah.
I know it's complicated. I understand the gravity of it, but I don't know how to vocalize it.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's a huge help.
Yeah, and they do something. It used to be called Dancing with the Savannah Stars. It's changed to Savannah's Got Talent. And they just take Savannah locals and are like, if you think you can raise $15,000, we'd love to have you. And John Brennan was like, I think you should ask Liz. And Terry, one of the directors, calls me and was like, hey, so John Brennan nominated you to do this. We raised $15,000, and I did the last year of Savannah, Dancing with the Savannah Stars. And then from now, it was like the very end of January until the first week of April, you'll meet with a dance instructor, and you'll learn this entire choreographed dance, and then you'll perform it on stage in front of 400 people.
What?
And I was like, I can raise the money. I'm going to say yes.
That's so cool.
Because I was terrified of the dancing part, but I knew I could raise the money. So I said yes, and I ended up raising $22,000 for them in that 4-month time span, and doing a really cool dance. And I'm
what
very
kind of dance
proud
did you do?
I danced to the song "Rewrite the Stars" from The Greatest Showman.
Was it a partner dance or
Yeah, it was a partner dance. It was like a lyrical contemporary dance. I don't know if you put links or anything, but I can send you the link.
Yeah, send that. Link
and
it
then
up. Yeah.
people can watch it. But I was so proud of that. There was this big jump moment where it was me, Jamal. Do you know Jamal?
I don't think so. I'm bad with names. If I know his face,
That's okay.
I'm sure I know his face.
You've seen him at a few of the mics. But Jamal, who was my partner, was one of the partners because my main dance partner, Daryl, ended up getting gout.
Oh, shit.
In the middle of it. And he was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. So then he was like, you need to find someone that you think you can do most of this with. And I was like, I guess it's Jamal. And he ended up getting better and he could do it. But then I'm like, well, we're not kicking Jamal out. So it was the three of them. And they're standing at the edge of the stage with their arms clasped. And I run and I jump. And I'm flying through the air and I land on them. And the judges are right here. And I basically could boop them.
Yeah.
And there was this big moment and the whole audience cheered. It was one of the most amazing life experiences I think I've ever had.
You think you would ever do it again?
100%, yeah. I think my family and friends would be like, stop asking me for money. But I would love to do it again. I did the opening number for this last year. They asked me to do the opening number. So Jamal and I did it 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So that was fun.
How much time did you have to dedicate to a dance routine?
It was, I think, 3-ish minutes long.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing. But we would meet every week and rehearse, and it was completely choreographed by Daryl, and he did the entire thing, and we just put time in to learn it and make it happen. And I've never danced, but I did gymnastics. So Daryl was like, you got to get your turns back, you got to get your splits back, you got to do these.
You got to knock the rust off. Was it like the muscle memory came back? This feels
He's
fine.
flipping me through the sky. I'm doing all these fun things. So it's I have very good body awareness, except for corners, as we were talking about earlier. It's I will trip walking on flat ground, but I can walk across a beam with no issues, or I can balance myself. Yeah. I can still do a handstand. I have all my splits. Those are my fun little party tricks kinds of things. But yeah, so it was super fun. And most of my donations were micro donations. So I ended up getting 500 plus donors. And there were opportunities for big sponsors where they could donate $1,000 to $10,000 towards your campaign. And I had 2 of those. Okay. So I had $2,000 of the $22,000, and all of the rest of it were people giving me $10 to $50.
Just everyday people just giving what they could.
Yeah.
That's so impressive.
Yeah. Lots of hustling and lots of being told no, but getting used to just asking. Because
how do you reach out to, so like for the big mashup,
Yeah.
right? Like you go through these different charities. I think this would be good for people who also like are passionate about like philanthropy work and like charity and stuff like that. How do you approach an organization? Be like, hey, I'm doing this. Like we would like to donate money. Like what does that interaction go like?
So if they're the organization we're donating the money to, it's different than like asking other people to sponsor us. But for like One Love, it was just like, hi guys, this is Liz and Rahul, who I co-host with.
Right.
We do a show called The Big Mashup. It's a charity variety show, so we have a variety of performances, and we do local charities because we want to keep it local. And we wanted to make you guys our like sponsored charity for the next one. And we do have expectations for our charities so that they provide something and we're providing something. But we ask them to provide like 1 to 2 raffles when they come in, have a table set up. I think we're going to see if they can bring like puppies or dogs to the next one.
That would be so cool. Do you think like on-site adoptions even, or?
I don't know. Probably not. They'll probably just have like, but all of the animals that they'll bring will be up for adoption.
Adoptable, yeah.
Because they did something, John Antoine and Matt Nickley did something called Puppy Files a couple of months ago, and there were people who adopted those dogs that came to the show and were like, I want that dog. And then the next like business day they went and they adopted that dog. So it's not on site, but it's basically on site. Yeah. So
that would be pretty cool if you had puppies. Yeah. Who could be mad at that? But that's great. And then like when you go, like, are they like kind of like shocked to like, oh, like what? Like what do you're just...
Yeah, well, sometimes they're like, oh, this sounds amazing. Like, thank you. We'd love to do this. Because a lot of the time they have to like come up with incentives to get people to come to events or donate. And it's like, somebody else wants to do this for us. That's amazing. And I think that that's like a thing that Brightside figured out when they do the Savannah's Got Talent. They're like, these 15 performers are doing these events. They are going to raise a minimum of $15,000 for us and help us reach like these bigger goals. And then there's like a big show night every single year. And there's like raffles. Their tradition is a bucket of alcohol. It's a wheelbarrow full of liquor.
What?
And that thing went for like $2,000.
A wheelbarrow of liquor?
Yeah. And they have like, it's our responsibility to get these raffles, and there's like a house, like an Airbnb on Tybee that slept 18 people.
That would be fun.
And that went for like 10 grand. And it's like, but think about it, a week on Tybee for 10 grand. If you split that between 18 people, that's not bad at all.
Not at all.
Like that is the cheapest you'll ever get.
Yeah.
But it's like ways like this that they end up raising money to.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
So that's, I just wanted to like, because it is a pretty important part. I think that it shows a lot about you that you're like so invested in charity work, and like you take something that you love that you're already going to do anyway and like try to like do even more with it. I think it speaks to you a lot.
Thank you.
So you're like, you did this class, you just start out with one class, not like a several week class. You're just like, hey, I did like a drop-in class, and you're like, I'm doing this forever now.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to do that again right now. Let me do it again.
When was your next time up on stage doing improv? Not in a class setting, like maybe a show setting.
Well, the first time I performed on stage in front of an audience was at one of the jams. So we'll have jams at 10 p.m. just sporadically. And I remember it was my very first one. And is it time to talk about the first one?
Let's see. Let me see if I have any other questions, and then we can. So this is something I want to get into. Have you ever, because like, you know, you're not a stand-up comic, but like you are hilarious in your own sense when you're on stage. I've seen you perform like a lot of times on stage. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy, or have you ever been like you go to MJoy's mic all the time? Have you ever been like, let me try it out. Let me see what this is all about.
I have pondered the thought. I did one set.
You have done one set.
I've done one set.
Let's get into this.
It was at El Rocco.
Okay.
It was after everybody had left. So the only people there were MJ, Rahul, Quentin, and like maybe Toby. Like it was barely anybody. Toby might not have even been there. It was like so little. And I was like, I'm gonna do a quick 5-minute set. And I get up there and it was fine because it was like everybody was nice and caring and nobody was being, Bob was there. And like nobody was mean to me, but it was like, I'm never doing that again. I hated that.
Do you remember any of the jokes or the bits that you did?
Man. I remember some of them were like about being adopted. But besides that, I don't really remember much. It was very much like a blank. But I do remember what
He's like blacked out on stage.
Yeah. What MJ and Rahul both told me was that for stand-up, I am a roast comic. Ooh. All of my jokes were making fun of something or somebody in my life and something that I was experiencing. Yeah. And I was like, interesting. Because I feel like I'm not.
You're not. I would not have seen that. You're such a sweet person.
But it was just like making fun of my upbringing and like roasting myself and things like that. So, yeah, but it's not for me. I love it. Like, I love watching stand-up comedy. I love the art form of it. I feel like it's too personal. Like, if people aren't laughing, it's like a jab at me. Versus at improv, those are all characters and none of them are me.
I got what you're saying.
So it feels different.
Yeah. You almost like put on, like, hey, this isn't me right now. This is like something else I'm doing. This is okay.
Yeah.
That's a good way to think about it.
Because they're always characters. Like, whenever except for when I'm hosting, but when I'm hosting, I'm promoting other people. So it's like I'm so much not the attention of it.
You're not the main focus. You're just kind of like you're the middleman.
Yeah.
Have you, like, when you were writing that first set, did it feel unnatural? Because improv is, like, it's improv. It's very on the spot. It's like off the top of your head. Like, did it feel weird to be like, okay, I need to like structure this and like? Yeah,
it was definitely weird. I had like bits and pieces of things that I thought was funny, and it's really just like me. Rahul is my best friend. I call him my brother. We've been friends, like best friends for 3+ years now. Like, I talk to him on the phone at least like 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's things we've talked and joked about that I'm like, that would be funny. And like, I jotted down. And then it's like, how can I make all these things flow? And they never really flowed properly, fully. I feel like I'm better at helping other people come up with things or like fine tune what they've maybe already written.
You mentioned that because on MJoy's podcast, I asked her, I was like, where do you get your work in at open mics and stuff like that? She's like, well, I have Liz at home. Like, I just bounce ideas off of her. And you are a naturally funny person. So, like, that's great to have. Just like, hey, is this funny? And you're like, sometimes Liz is like, I wouldn't say that.
I'll be like, maybe not. Most of the time for her, whenever she'll give me a new joke, I'm like, what if you said this instead? Yeah. Or it's like the same thing with Rahul. He has a joke about how he's like so old and like how he knew he was getting old and what. It's like he knew he was getting old because he was going to McDonald's and it was loud. And I'm like, you should say that it was loud from the outside.
That's pretty good.
And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, because when it's loud from the outside, you know you're old. Like, you're walking up to it, you're like, I don't want to go into that building. I can hear it from out here. And he added that, and he's like, okay, that works. And it's like just little things that I'm like, I think this would be funny. Maybe I'll tell you. And then sometimes it works.
Is that crazy? Like, just small tweaks in an idea can make a joke like an okay joke to like a great joke.
Yeah.
Do you ever like think about characters? Like, I know like improv is like all on the spot, but like for me anyway, because I do focus on writing and like structuring jokes and stuff like that. Do you ever find yourself like, okay, this is a character I want to try, or like, you do?
Yeah. Okay. So we used to do a show a lot. We used to do murder mysteries a lot, and for that you would have a character and you would be improvising as that character. So I had two of my favorites were Kaylee Kelly, who was like a sweet little southern horse girl. Yeah. And I used to do competitive horseback riding too. So I had my whole getup on.
That's awesome.
And it's like you're basically going through a party, you're in an Uber, you're being interrogated as that character. So you have to like figure out who this person is so much and then live in them. So I had Kaylee Kelly, and then I had Lorna Lorenzo, who was I
like the alliteration.
I love a good alliteration. But Lorna Lorenzo talked like this. And she was a wife of a dumpster manager, not a mob boss, but a dumpster manager.
Okay.
Her two boys, Anthony and Vincent, and that's her whole life. And she talks about it. And she was inspired by my neighbor.
Neighbor here?
Yeah, a neighbor that I used to have in Pooler. I'm not going to say her name because I love her, but she scares me.
Okay.
And she used to be the wife of an ex-mob boss in Chicago.
Oh, shit.
And the things she used to tell me, she's like, my husband, he used to, he would take care of anything I needed to have taken care of, but then I became a good Christian woman. We don't kill people, but we will break a kneecap. That can be repaired. And she means it. Dude. And I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, I love mob movies so much.
Yeah.
I've seen Goodfellas like no less than 15 times.
Yeah.
I love mob movies.
But it's like just developing these characters and then getting to live in them is very fun also.
Yeah. Do you have an overall favorite character? And it doesn't necessarily have to be you. Like, have you ever seen like one of your like counterparts or like other people at Front Porch? Like, oh, this character is like.
Ooh, yes. It's Chelsea. So Shaylin's girlfriend.
Okay.
It's Patty of Patty's party planning.
Okay.
So funny. She was very like, she talked really fast. She always stood like this. She's like, I'm Patty from Patty's party planning, and like. She would always get voted as the murderer because of like how happy and cheery and silly she was, but it's like this girl is crazy. There's something about her crazy.
It was like
that's
just
crazy.
manic, like
and it was always so much fun to watch that character. Chelsea just would do it amazingly. I met her getting her master's in acting when I was getting my master's in sound at SCAD, and that's how we became friends and introduced her to the theater and all that. But she is fabulous to watch, and like that character is one that I was always so excited to get to see.
Do you think that you will ever want to, or have you ever wanted to like be in like a film, like a short film or anything like that? Do you ever like think about that?
I have. I would if somebody needed me to, but I'm not. It's not something I desire.
Right. It's not something you're actively pursuing, but like if you could help someone out, you'd be like, oh,
If someone's like, hey, we need someone to do this, I'm like, okay. Yeah. But I'm not like, put me in your thing, please. Yeah. I don't think I'd call myself an actor. I think I'd just call myself an improviser, which I think are distinctly different things. You have to act in improv. Right. But it's all made up and you're doing it right there. So it's not like you're planning a script, you're not planning what's going on. Even if you like have a planned form, like after this kind of thing's gonna happen, or it's like after these two characters meet, there's going to be a big conflict. Right. You don't know what that conflict is gonna be, you just know something's happening there. So it's always so uniquely made up.
I remember, I think one of my favorite shows I ever saw at the Front Porch, it was like a spin-off of White Lotus. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what it was called. Was it just called like the White Lotus or what?
It was probably something similar, but yeah, they do a lot of spin-offs.
I remember, because you guys will like come out and ask the crowd, but like give me something or other. Mm-hmm. And it was Jennifer Coolidge, right? Is that her? The wow. Yeah. So,
oh, wow. Lovely.
So she I don't remember her name. I think she's one of the owners of Bree. I think
tall glasses.
Yes, it's so funny.
Yeah.
But she was playing Jennifer Coolidge's character, and she's like, I have these ashes, like, whose ashes are these? Mm-hmm. And I said, your old assistant. And, like, that's what they ran with, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was so funny, that whole thing, dude. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the other one. I think it was at the end of the big mashup, maybe? Yeah, it was. Whenever John Anton and it's like they were playing, like, two old friends.
Oh, Old Friends. Yeah, it's just called Old Friends.
Yeah, that one was really funny. Yeah. That was one of my really favorite ones.
Oh, another character that I love, unbelievably amazing, is Justin and Justine.
Okay.
If you have not seen a Justin and Justine show, you have not lived on this planet.
I need to go see it.
It is. I could not even begin to tell you how amazing these are. It's Jenny Woodruff. Okay. She plays Justine, and it's the art of clowning. Uh-huh. I don't know if you know much about clowning, but it's basically just like what silly thing is happening and how much sillier can I make it? Okay. Like to the ultimate
just
max.
Completely ridiculous.
Mr. Bean is a clown.
Yeah.
Charlie Chaplin was a clown.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's not intentionally being funny, but it's like for one of Jenny's things, she just kept putting on clothes, and she did not stop putting on clothes, and she had an entire suitcase, and she had a bra on her head, and she had a shirt, and she had a bra on her bra, and like she was just in every weird thing you could have ever imagined.
That's so
She was in a big mashup, and she stripped down to a completely nude Spanx outfit.
What?
Like, yeah, it's like okay, and she does like song renditions that she makes up, and she dances around the stage. I cannot even begin to express. I can't explain it. It's just like you have to see it.
I gotta see this. When do they do like?
It's sporadic. If you follow Jenny on Instagram, she'll probably post about when they're gonna do it. But it's like they're so good.
Yeah,
they're so good. You can also probably find them online. I think she just
did
one
I'll have to check it out.
This last weekend in the Refresh. Indie Refresh. I think she was in that, so you might be able to watch it there.
You guys record every show that you guys do, and you get so. If you guys are interested, you want to check out the Front Porch Improv. You've never been, look them up on YouTube. Look them up on Instagram. They record every show that they do there, and you can find them all.
Yeah.
So check it out. It's a great place to do any type of entertainment, comedy, improv. Like you guys do so much stuff, charity work through Liz and stuff like that. But we're at the time now. So we can't necessarily do first set, worst set with you.
Yeah.
Well, your first set was at El Rocco for comedy.
Yeah.
But what was
comedy?
Talk me through like your
set.
first show.
Yeah, I can do my first scene, worst scene.
Yeah,
like
do
those
first
I have.
scene, worst scene, and like how long did you do classes before you like on stage in front of a crowd? And like, what are the things going through your head? Like, are you nervous? Or, okay, talk me through that.
So my first scene, I had started. Probably like, I think, I literally looked it up today because I was curious. July 12th, 2021 was when I started my first class for my first 6-week course. And I'd say between class like 2 and 3, there was a jam. And that was the first time I got up on stage and did like a scene in front of an audience with anybody. I did it with Bree. Because if you ever come to a jam, which you should come to some of the jams
I gotta come.
Come out to a jam and you can do a scene with me.
Yeah, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, if you tell me you're going, I will go.
Okay, deal.
But you just get paired with someone who has experience doing it, and I get up and we're just doing like a factory scene, like we're working the assembly line of something, and we start talking about like underwear or bras or something, and I thought I was going to vomit. I was like.
Out of nerves?
Yeah, I was like actively shaking. They said I was next, and like I could feel my entire existence like shaking through my body. And I don't get that feeling that often anymore. Sometimes I do.
I've seen you on stage, like you seem so confident, and like it's like really impressive, like how smooth you are with like. There's almost like no hesitation when you get dropped like some curveball from another like actor, and then you're like you just like roll right with it. It's impressive. So imagining you being nervous on stage is crazy.
It was horrifying. Like there's new shows where I'm trying a new format and I feel it in my body, but it was terrifying. It was another moment where I like blacked out. It was like I was up and then it was over, and Brie like gave me a hug. She's like, "You did it!" I'm like, "Great!" And then like 3 or 4 weeks later, we had our class show, which is like curated, and like all of our friends and family came. But that was my first scene, and then my worst one.
The one you did with Brie, like, was it? I know you blacked out, but like, did you watch it again? Like, oh, this was good. Like, I did okay.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
I think
you were just like, I don't want to know what happened.
I was like, I did it. we don't have to look at it ever again. And I know it's there. I know it's somewhere. I could probably find it, but I won't.
We gotta watch it. At the end of the 6 weeks, did your parents come to that show?
I don't think they were in the state at that time, but I'm pretty sure that they watched it online.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But they've been to shows since. Like, yeah.
Yeah. They'll come to improv shows. They were at the last big mashup that we had. They'll come out whenever they're able to.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so worst scene.
Okay.
Or like you're I don't know, like it just, you think about it and you're just cringe. You're like, I never want this to happen again.
I don't know if it was so like cringeworthy. I don't want this to happen again. It was just the most oddball, chaotic thing.
Okay.
So it was me. I was in a group, like a improv group, and it was me and Bob at the time. We were on stage together, and I walk out and I'm pregnant, and I'm just like I'm so tired or something, and Bob's like, "Yeah, you look like you're about to pop." And then we're just basically talking about how I am so pregnant. And then another person comes on from the back line and looks at me and looks at Bob, and then she goes, "Mom and Dad, you're doing such a good job of taking care of my baby."
Oh, but what a curveball, dude.
And then I'm just like, and Bob's like, and then the audience was silent, and they just hear, And then everybody started dying laughing. And we're just like, your baby in me. And like, she was very clearly trying to be a guy at that time. So we're like, scrambling. And Bob saved it. He was like, yeah, you being a surrogate is great. And I was like,
did you just panic? Just everything short circuit? Like, how do we round this out?
You literally just told me that I'm carrying your baby, but that I am also your mother. Like, what is going on here?
Did you guys like, so the crowd, obviously, it's a hilarious premise.
Oh, yeah. Everybody started dying. I think Jamal, who was in the group, like, literally, like, started laughing so hard, he, like, ran off the stage, crumbling. Nobody knew what to do. We were just like...
Who was it that said that line that came in?
Her name was Melissa. She hasn't been around for a little bit. But she was an absolute sweetheart, like so fun. It was just like, do you realize that the form, that the biology of what you just said is not okay? It's like, that is not good.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
So my brother's fiance, the one who's getting married this week, she works at like a fertility clinic. Mm-hmm. And there's situations like that.
I believe it.
Like, she's told me some stories, like crazy stories. Like, the mom, like, wants to have a kid with a younger guy. So, like, we'll take an egg from her daughter. And, like, her boyfriend... Dude, it's crazy stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
But also, wow.
Wow. Yeah. Isn't that fucking insane?
In Suddenly Amish, there were definitely two, like, third cousins once removed that were definitely getting freaky with it.
Oh, my God. There was one show, I think it's called Breaking Amish.
Yeah.
Where they take Amish people and, like, put them in the real world. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't stop watching it.
Yeah.
I watched all of
this
it.
This is the opposite. It's taking real world English people and putting them in the Amish.
I need to watch this show.
You would love it.
But then, so, like, we're seeing, like... I'm sure it felt like an eternity when that happened, but like it was probably maybe like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was not long. I have like the video clip. I like screen recorded it. It is on my phone because sometimes I just watch it. I'll show you it after.
Yeah.
But I just watch it because it's so crazy, and I think someone just ended up editing it because it's like where do we go now?
Yeah.
Like there's no place to actually move forward.
Did you like resolve it? Like how did you address it?
No, it was like everyone just started laughing and then somebody edited it. So when you edit, you just go to something completely new. Because it's like no matter what we do,
there's no recovery.
Exactly, there's no recovery available.
That's so. I'm gonna have to ask Bob about this.
Yeah.
This is fucking hilarious.
No, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
Yeah.
But it was crazy, and I mean, improv is such a hard art form. It's like 50% of your scenes feel like crap. Like they're horrible, they're bad. So I feel like it's not. I feel like you can't measure it the same way you measure it for stand up.
Yeah. Did you ever at one point find yourself like just trying too hard on stage? Like you said, like people who try to be funny instead of just like being a character, not necessarily a funny character.
Yeah.
Did you ever find yourself in like that, like earlier on?
I don't think my problem, which you probably wouldn't believe, but my problem was being too reserved.
Really?
Yeah, not making choices and not really being willing to do something silly or stupid on stage.
Like fully committing to it?
Yeah. So I actually had the opposite problem. So no, I was not trying too hard. I was not letting myself try new things, which I've recently started like getting better at. And like they're here to see something stupid. I should be okay to do this stupid thing. Yeah. And I've got
the audience knows what they're buying into.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason to be embarrassed or like reserved about it.
And like, but it's still like you're on stage and these people are watching you do something, and it's like, what if you make a bold choice and nobody laughs, and then you're like, well, okay, thanks. But I've slowly been getting better at like letting myself be silly.
Good. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell the audience like shows that you have coming up, where they can find you on social media?
Yeah.
Things like that.
You can find me on Instagram at more MOORE.of.Liz. That's me. And our next big mashup is August 1st. So we'll open up applications and I'll send you the link once we start doing that. Yeah. let's see. Are there any other shows? We're going to have a queer prov jam in June and another POC jam in June. I think it's the 12th. It's like the second Friday of the month is typically when we do it. Gotcha. Antoine and I host that together. But besides that, I don't think I have anything I can think of.
Nice.
No.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
I feel like we went on tangents.
Oh, that's the whole thing. Just tangents, yeah. That's what makes it fun. But if you're in the local Savannah area and you want to find something to do, go to the Front Porch Improv. Go support these shows that these people are putting on. A lot of them are for charities. And just go have a good time. It's a great theater. Reminder again, June 6th, the Blooper Reel is putting on our first ever show. It's going to be at Billy's Place. Billy's Place. We're going to have 4 comedians. We're going to have a band at the end of it. I think it's going to be a really good time. And next week, we have our guest is going to be Chris Silber. He is a stand-up comedian. I don't know if you've ever met him. He's been...
The name sounds very familiar.
He hosts Sentient Bean right now. So I don't know if you've been to that one. But he's in the comedy world. He's done a lot more other stuff in entertainment. And we'll talk about that next week. But thank you guys for joining us. Liz, thank you for being here. Yeah. And we'll see you next week.
Me. Bye.
Bye.